the government wants to go to the international community to solve problems, we have no other option but to ourselves condemn this move. Since this is a very secret plan that is being hatched by the government to try to undermine truth and try to get international sympathy for their inaction, for they are trying to hide the facts, for they are trying to manipulate the entire events surrounding the Easter attacks, that we are forced to give this press conference today. We condemn unequivocally this attempt of the government to try to go to the international community and try to fool them with their sweet talk, and then also to go to see His Holiness the Pope and try to mislead him. We are making this request after 2.5 years of patience. All kinds of efforts were made by us calling from the government, this government, to give us justice, give us a transparent investigation, an independent investigation, impartial investigation, not motivated by politics. But we have failed in this because the government has been pushing us from pillar to post. Because the former Attorney General, Mr. Dappula de Oliveira, he made a statement to a Newsfirst journalist called Sulfik Farsan that this was a grand conspiracy. Actually, this kind of project is a grand conspiracy because a ragtag band of 7 or 8 suicide bombers cannot do such a thing. They needed brainwashing over a long time. They needed the technology to find and make the bombs. They needed the conviction to commit suicide. All of these require time, and all of these require support. So there is somebody who is behind all this. We want to know who that is. That is our right. Because of that, we will not stop our activities. 269 people were murdered in cold blood. Their body parts were hanging on the rafters of the roof of the church. Blood was splattered everywhere. Families were completely broken. Some people are still on wheelchairs and on beds, permanently disabled. This was a terrible disaster. 47 foreigners were killed from 14 countries. I want to ask the international community to please defend your citizens who died here. The 14 countries, including United States, United Kingdom and Australia, Saudi Arabia, China, those people who were killed, those governments must rise up to this and call upon our government to do a transparent investigation and an independent investigation. The foreign governments must also apply pressure on our Sri Lankan government to do a thorough investigation of this murder and not try to defend the Sri Lankan government in its nefarious plan. That we are very sad about this approach to try and go and fool the international community, and the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister doing that is a serious lack of maturity in deciding on what is to be done. Our letter to the President, dated 12th July, outlined several pieces of information which emerged or are emerging in the report of the Presidential Commission. In the Parliament, when this was debated, several of the MPs made allusions to certain incidents and certain matters which are connected to this Easter Sunday attack, but which have not been properly investigated. The fact that the Army Directorate of Military Intelligence had some links with these people, with this Saran Hashim's group. We have asked the President to investigate that. But those aspects have not been investigated. Therefore, we feel that this is a tailor-made kind of investigation just to put a blame on somebody and then finish it off. Because there are indications in the Presidential Commission report that some people willfully prevented this incident, prevented it from coming out, and willfully did not do their duty to prevent this from happening. This government is trying to protect them because it is their interests that also, because you see, Mr. Maitripala Sirisena is very much part of this government. This government doesn't want to prosecute Mr. Maitripala Sirisena for its own interests. That is what we can say. That is what appears in the surface also, very clearly. Why is the government trying to protect some people? Is the government part of the conspiracy? We have to deduce from that fact that the government is part of the conspiracy also. That they are trying to protect some people and not letting the conspiracy come out.